Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are at the pre-show for Challenge Aruba coming up in October. We're at the Hyatt Regency in the Hilton where the swim will be happening right behind us in October. Our guest, one of my favorite people ever, Mr. Marc Herremans. Marc, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So wonderful to see you. This is sort of like Belgian weather, right?
Yeah, definitely. We have it maybe one time in a year, I guess, and here it's all the time, so it's a big difference.
Growing up, what were your sports?
Like every Belgian young guy, I play soccer,
Yes.
and then I turned into triathlon.
And so triathlon pretty young.
No, I started to do my first race at the age of 22, so it's quite old for a triathlete.
And you qualified for Kona where? Was that Australia?
Australia. I was fourth in the Ironman of Australia.
So you went pro pretty quickly.
Yeah, after 3 years, I guess. Yeah.
3 years you became a pro, went to Australia, then qualified to go to Kona in 2001.
Yes.
And in that race, first time there, finishing sixth place. What was the feeling after that race?
Yeah, it was good because I did first Ironman Australia, but I had 2 punctures and I was 11th, so I knew, okay, I could be podium. Then in Australia I was sick, but I was fourth, so it was good.
Yes.
And then Hawaii, the main race, I was really good, I think, but I made a lot of mistakes.
What type of mistakes?
Yeah, well, normally the bike was my strongest point, but I think I did it too easy on the bike because I was too afraid about the marathon.
Right.
But I feel okay in the marathon, and I go from place 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. But the last 3K, I thought I can do podium, and I increased my speed too much, and the last 2K I fell back to place 6. But I think if I was smarter that day, I could have the podium.
How did that change your world, finishing sixth to the race? The Ironman World Championship is a very important race. When you finish sixth and you're from Belgium, that had to be, did that help you with sponsors?
Yeah, I keep with the same sponsors, but of course a lot of races want you on the start line.
Right.
So at that point it was a big improvement for me because a lot of races say, okay, Marc, do you want to start in our race? And for me it was the first time that people asked me to start in their race. So for me it was an honor and a privilege. So it was really nice.
So January 28th, 2002, you're over Canary Islands, I think, and riding your bike and you crash. And did you know right away that it was a bad crash?
Yeah, I knew because I couldn't move my body, only my arms and my head, and I knew, okay, this is really bad.
Yes.
And then the doctors told me I was paralyzed from the chest down, and the first days I thought, yeah, my life is over.
Sure.
And then I had a really big life lessons from a little kid from my sister, who shows me, "Nonkel Marc, your life is not over, you're still in the game." And
really? How old?
He was only 5 at that age.
And he said that to you?
Yeah, I said, "Uncle Marc, I'm so happy that you are back." And from that moment I realized, okay, I had no bad luck, but luck, because I survived the accident.
Right.
And a lot of people don't survive an accident like that, so I was blessed. And thanks to the words of the little kid, I say, okay, I'm still going to chase my dream to win Hawaii and to do the things that I love to do.
The hardest part when something like that happens is the people around you, they all take their lead from how you're feeling. If you're up and happy, then they're up and happy. But if you're depressed, then they're depressed. Yeah. How hard was it for you to make that change from my life is really bad to my life is not over and it can be great?
Yeah, it was, for me, if I look back, it was quite easy because I started to train only 1 day after my surgery.
No way.
Yeah, I started to train with weights because I had a new dream, still winning Hawaii, but not with my 2 legs, but with my 2 arms.
Yes.
And I start to look in front of me and not back what was happened. And I lived in the future, and I was not busy with what was happening with me.
Yes.
But I was busy with how can I go for my dreams and how can I achieve my dreams. So for me, at that point, it was quite easy because I had a dream. And I have to go for that dream, so I didn't live in the past with my accident, but in the future with my dreams.
So 2002, you only had 8 months to train as a paralyzed athlete, and going to that starting line, and the fact that you finished a swim that day, to me that was the performance of the day. The fact that you could even get in the water and do that 2.4 mile swim with your new body. I know you wanted to finish the whole race.
Yeah.
But were you okay with the fact that you got through the swim?
Yeah, I was okay because when you have a paralysis on my level,
yes.
The first year you're more sick than healthy because you have to go to a lot of things in your body, and then you have problems with your kidneys, then with your bladder. It's all the time you have problems, and 2 days before the race, I came also ill.
Yes.
So for me, it was, I was happy that I could do the swim, but I preferred to finish the race. But if I look back to that day, my gear was just not okay for it, because my bike was just like
about 400 pounds.
Yeah,
You had a big old bike. I remember that.
I looked at the other bikes and I said, "Oh my God, I
What
have a terrible bike."
I thought the physical thing was bad,
Yeah.
but I've got this bike that basically weighs more than a car.
Yeah, definitely. So I think even if I was healthy that day, I never
Never would have got through the bike course.
No, never.
Yeah. So what did you learn from that race that helped you eventually win in Ironman, win the hand cycle division?
Yeah, first of all, the equipment, because I said, okay, these guys are really pro with their gear.
Yes.
And I was just, give me just a bike, a chair, and I go for it. But if you want to win the Ironman of Hawaii in a wheelchair, you have to be 100% pro also with your gear. So the most I learned that day was, okay, those guys have really great gear. I have to have also that gear, otherwise I can't win the race.
Right. And what did it mean to you? I think it was, 2006 when you finally won that?
Yeah, 2006.
And what did it mean to finally win that race? Because that was obviously your goal when you first went to Kona in 2001, and when you got injured, and now your goal changed to winning it in the hand cycle division.
Yeah, for me it was, I was blessed. I was so happy on the finish line. I was totally dead. But I worked so hard for it, and beside that I built up a foundation. I have to do 3 hours rehab a day. I did a lot of work. It was not only the triathlon sports like the other people. I did a lot of other things, so I have to manage everything really well. And for me it was unbelievable that I could win the race, and I was really happy with it. So I was able to go for my next dream. So it was, for me, it was a great day.
Talk a little bit about the Marc Herremans Foundation, because what I love is when you first started and said, I want to stand up every day. One of the biggest problems that paralyzed athletes, paralyzed people have, is they get sores on their butt because they're always sitting. But you wanted to stand, but the doctors told you you aren't going to stand, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. They say don't do it because you're gonna buy that stuff and you're gonna use it maybe 1 week and then you throw it away because it's asked too much from your body. But till now, 14 years after the accident, I'm still standing up every day at least 1 hour 30. Even here at Aruba, I'm standing up every day. The day before the race, in Ironman Hawaii, before the race, the evening before the race, I was walking through my hotel room. After the race, I was walking in my walking gear at my room because I had an extreme also, becoming a daddy.
Yes.
And I want to become a healthy daddy. And for me, it was really important to stay away from medication and to stay healthy. And I think for every disabled athlete, it's really important. Don't focus only on the sport and the medals, but also on your health, and try to do your rehab every day, because even that, it's more important than the gold.
And for the work you're doing in the hospitals now, it sounds like that the country understands that they need to invest in challenged athletes. They need to invest if they invest in the ability for people to stand, if they invest in the positives rather than the medication, they can eliminate a lot of the cost of medication.
Yeah, definitely. The government in Belgium see, okay, if everybody's doing what Marc's doing, probably the medical stuff is a lot less. So we don't need to give a lot of medication. But we have healthy people in wheelchair, healthy people with empathies, and it's better for us. So they invest now in our foundation, so it's really good for us.
How big has the foundation gotten?
Yeah, we start from zero.
Yes.
And now we have 3 centers in Belgium. We're going to open a 4th revalidation center in Belgium in a hospital. And we have now, I think, 8 people working full time for us. So started from zero. I think 14 years ago. I think I'm quite happy because we're living in a small country.
Yes.
And for us it's good because there were so many non-believers, but I listened again to the believers, and the believers get right, and we have a great foundation now.
You are using in the hospitals that a piece of equipment that allows people to stand, that allows people to walk. It used to be that if you were a complete paraplegic, if your spine was severed, you were never going to stand or walk. Talk a little bit about your investment in the hospitals and in that equipment and what it costs.
Yeah, it costs a lot because if you have a walking robot, it's about 160,000 euros.
And a walking robot is what they call exoskeleton?
Exoskeleton, yes. But you need also 2 kines to work with it, each person, and we have 3 robots, so we have to have also 16 kines. So it's a lot. It's a big cost. It's a lot of money. But if you see how many people coming to our foundation to say, okay, we want to walk again, we want to stay healthy, it's all worth. it's all worth.
How when you're working with people, and I'm sure there's days where you're worried about, okay, we got to raise money, we got to do this, that, but I'm also sure that sometimes you run into an athlete or someone sends you a note and says what you've done has meant so much to them and their family. How important is that to you? Just the feedback you get from people.
Yeah, it's nice, but I never did it to become a role model. You know, I just
It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I just chased my dream. I just want to be the Marc from before the accident.
Yes.
I just want to stay with the same friends and family. I don't want to be a hero, but if
You are.
But if you give a lecture and there's only one guy say, okay, I'm gonna change my life. I want to be also a healthy boy. I want to also chase my dreams, have a family life. Then it's all worth, you know. Yeah, but I'm just the Marc from tiny Belgium.
No, you're much
it
more
is.
than that. So we are at what's going to be Challenge Aruba. We're right where the swim is going to be. I don't know if you've been down to Aruba before, but what are your impressions of the Happy Island?
Yeah, I was here one time before, and it is a happy island, you know. And in Belgium, we have maybe in a year 30 times sunshine,
Yes.
and it's all the time sunshine. The weather is so clear; it's amazing.
Yes.
The people are so kind. On this island, there is no violence. It's
Right.
other than in Europe at this moment. So, it's an honor to come here, and it's a new It's like you're coming in a new world, you know.
How has the world of disabled sports changed in terms of, since you were injured, and like you said, you went to the starting line with a hand cycle that weighed about 400 pounds.
Yeah.
The equipment has gotten a lot better, and just the awareness seems to be, the more awareness of what athletes need.
Yeah, definitely, and I think the world sees also that challenge athletes are, also great athletes. You
Yes.
know, they have a disability, but with their disability, they can achieve great things, and the world sees it now, and they see, okay, they're doing amazing things, and the support is coming, and it's great. It's improving a lot, especially also in Belgium. When I had the injury, you had never heard something about challenge athletes on the television. Never ever. And now it's the Paralympics are on television. They're putting the guys in the spotlights, and it's changed a lot.
I love
Changed
that.
a lot.
Well, and a lot of that changes because of you, Marc. Thanks for everything you've done. I know you're a very humble guy, but a lot of that is because of you just did the right thing. You weren't thinking about anything besides doing the right thing, and that's usually when good things happen.
Thank you so much.
Marc Herremans has been our guest. Again, we are at the pre-show for Challenge Aruba coming up in October. And Marc, you'll be here then, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really happy to be part of this great race, and I'm looking forward to come back.
Love it. Marc Herremans has been our guest. And so that you don't get burned in the sun, look at this, man. We've
great.
got some Aruba aloe for you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Again, my name is Bob Babbitt, Breakfast with Bob. Hold on. We'll be right back.